I'm still going full speed and I'm going to make an opening here in a moment. I like to rest my fingers on the outside, or most of my fingers on the outside, and I'm aiming for the center with my thumbs, pushing into the clay. As you push in, you'll feel that it's dry. Just add a little bit of water. Keep pushing straight in. You want to think about the bottom of the piece that you're creating. Leave enough clay for the bottom. Ideally, you'll leave at least a 1/4 inch of clay down there, maybe up to an inch, but you don't want to be thicker than an inch. After you reach your depth, start to push outward with the thumb, widening this opening. And as far as how thick your base is, the first time you're pushing in, you won't quite know how much clay you have down there. So I'm going to show you how you can measure. Dry up on the inside and stop the wheel. Take the needle tool, stick it in until you do feel the wheel or hit the wheel. And then place a finger on that inside clay surface and hold it against your needle tool. Pull it straight out. And that will give you a really nice idea of how much clay you've got on the bottom. I've got about a 1/2 inch. So I have some wiggle room as I continue on. I'm just going to close up the little hole. Now is a good time to slow the wheel down more to a medium speed. I recommend working on the right side from this point on. See that clay flows out and through the fingers really nicely on this left side. You'll find that if you end up on the right side, it flows through really nicely. On the left side is where, when you put pressure, that clay tends to build up, beads up onto the fingers, and can sometimes catch your fingers, causing you to poke or jab your piece. The right side is the better place to be if you're rotating in this direction. I'm on either side of the wall with my fingertip, putting a bit of pressure. That pressure causes a wave of clay to flow upward. And I just try to follow it nice and steady. Still have my hands braced on each other, my arms braced downward. I also like to do a little bit of compression of the rim. And you want to pass through the walls multiple times, taking your time to gradually thin the wall each pass through. You don't want to rush. A lot of times what happens if you rush is you'll become a little more inconsistent. Maybe you get too thin too quickly, especially in the base of your wall. And then that thicker clay above can cause tearing or collapsing on your thin point. So I may pass through my wall 3 or 4 times, or maybe even more as I'm working to thin the wall. Again, this little compression is nice to do. It tends to even up the wall or the rim and clean it up as well. Always adding water as you go. Keep the wall nice and moist. As the wall gets thinner, you'll pull off the speed. The piece becomes more delicate as it becomes thinner. I like to start out with a cylinder as my base shape. From here you can go for a deep bowl or a vase.